Good morning, glad you could join us. Hey, I want to share a story with you that you've probably heard a lot of times. It's a story about Jesus from the Gospel according to Luke. In Luke chapter 5, verse 1, it says that one day Jesus was preaching on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, and there was big crowds that were coming along. Then it says that he noticed two empty boats at the water's edge, for the fishermen had left them and they were washing their nets. So he steps into one of the boats, and Jesus asked Simon, we think of him as Peter, its owner, to push it out into the water. So he sat in the boat and taught the crowds from there. Kind of makes sense, the crowd can gather around, they can't push in on him. You know what I find interesting? It said he was preaching, but it doesn't say anything about what he said. Then he gets in the boat and he preaches from there, and we still don't know anything that he said. So the message here must be more in what happened than the preaching. When he'd finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish." Okay, so that's kind of interesting. These guys had worked all night, and I don't think they're too interested. So Simon Peter says, "But Master, we worked hard all last night and didn't catch a thing. But if you say so, I'll let the nets down again." And this time the nets were full, and I think you know the story. And then Simon Peter says, "Oh Lord, please leave me. I'm too much of a sinner to be around you," for he's awestruck. Then I think Peter was right where Jesus wanted him. Isn't it amazing? I think, if it was me or you, we'd be like, hey, let's go into business. We can open up a fishing company right here. You and me together. It'd be great. But here's the thing. I think it's much more of a metaphor. And Peter left fishing pretty shortly after that. And Jesus said, "I want you to be a fisher of men." Fishing all night. They catch nothing. Then Jesus wants to use his boat. Do you think Peter was set up here? I do. Jesus sees two boats. He picks Peter's boat. He knows exactly what he's doing. Do you know that the Gospels talk far more about Peter than all of the other disciples combined? He's almost like a foil to Jesus. Did a series on him last year. I learned a ton. I thought it was great. So, what do you suppose would happen in your life if you pushed out a little deeper in a couple areas? What are some growth areas for you? What are some places where you've gotten discouraged? It's like, well, I guess that is just the way it's always going to be. I've already tried it and nothing's happening. Going to be preaching a sermon in a couple weeks where it's like, where we're just saying, I can't. I did that already. But God has another plan. I had no idea how many instances of this there are in the Bible, and this is really one of them. But Peter listened to Jesus. Will you listen to Jesus today? What if he says, I want you to go a little deeper with this or with that? How might you push a little deeper in your faith? What would that look like for you? It could have something to do with the daily time with God, attending church, giving. There's all sorts of different things. What about pushing out a little deeper in your career? Pushing out a little deeper in different relationships, friends and family? See, for some of us, we've been pushing up against a mountain of resistance for a long time. And we're laughing like, didn't catch anything all night. I've been doing this for years. No results. But perhaps your relationship or career or love net is empty. But if you listen to Jesus, there could be a change. Life might feel hopeless, but God is able to do something. So I just encourage you to listen to Jesus today. I want to give a shout out to Bob Goff from his book, Catching Whimsy, where I picked up some of this, and some of this I picked up right from the Bible. So if you knew it was Jesus calling you deeper, would you go? Do you hear his voice today? It's the Lenten season. I hope you hear Jesus talk to you this season, and I hope you hear him calling you to go just a little deeper. And if you really believed that he would be with you when you got there, would you make that move? I believe Jesus will be there if you go deeper. God bless you. Have a great day.